Welcome to Meet the Candidates. The Frankfort Plant Board is giving us an opportunity to bring the candidates in so we can talk with them for a little while, find out a little bit more about who they are, the office they're running for, and what their plans might be with that office. So this is a chance to get to know them, and we want to alert you that there will be other opportunities. For example, we're going to be having a candidates forum on April 26th. We're expecting to hold it down at the hotel, and we'd like for you to participate. See if you can attend, submit some questions if you like, but stay alert to the opportunities to meet with the candidates. And then please make plans to come down for the live coverage of the election returns. We'll be broadcasting it from the county clerk's office, and we'll bring you that vote total just as soon as it's available, so stay alert to that. And in the meantime, on this edition of Meet the Candidates, we're going to be talking with Michael Mueller, and he's running for a position on the City Commission. No, Magistrate. I'm sorry, isn't that awful? I'm getting so many of these interviews that I am losing track of which race we're dealing with, and I do apologize for that. We're doing the Fiscal Court, and you're running for a position as Magistrate.
Correct.
And there are a lot of people that know you, but there are a lot of people in the community who haven't had a chance to get to know you. And
Correct.
What we'd like to find out is who you are, how you function within the community, and why in the world you're willing to tackle such a responsibility.
Right. So basically, in a nutshell, I'm running for District 3, which right now is held by Don Sturgeon. The reason I'm getting involved is, I'm a business owner in the community. My wife and I own Inside Out Design. We employ 14 full-time people year-round. And we have 2 children that are most important, 12-year-old and a 13-year-old, Jewel and Vance. So one of the reasons I want to get more involved is to help the community. I see the need to, I think my business aspect has a big benefit. And that's what I want to bring to the table, my vision.
And that's the sort of thing that I think most of us are interested in learning, is you are willing to step forward and tackle such a big responsibility. What do you think you can accomplish with that? What do you see as being the area you need to focus on? What do you want to develop here in Franklin County?
A lot of what I would like to focus on is bringing more businesses to community, because if we can get more businesses, we have a better tax base. People keep saying we need more money for the fire department, for the police department, for our education, which is huge. Unless we start really getting more people paying taxes, not saying raising taxes, we need to be more business friendly. And so with my job right now, I look at things, and some of our systems that are set up are a little complicated. Even on a city level or on the county level, if someone goes to want to build a new structure or bring a business to town, it's not easy. There's a lot of red tape, it seems like. So I'd like to try to level that out a little bit and make it user friendly. And
how do you go about doing that? I mean, the concept is excellent, and I think a lot of us could endorse that. But do you have any notions of exactly how you go about doing that? Absolutely. So because of the business, I do a lot of these things on a day-to-day basis. We work with Buffalo Trace, West 6 Brewery, residential people. And so I've gone through the process on both city and county. I think it could be as simple as a checklist, what you have to do in order to get a license or business license or building permits and things like that. And I think when you go down and apply for things, they don't spell it out maybe as easily as they should. So to me, it's just bringing the right people together and working it out. I don't think it's recreating the wheel or anything. It's just getting the information out there so the people know how to use it. How do they access that information, though? Do you have, for instance, do not have a clue as to how I would go about trying to find that that line of thought of,
Right.
of where to go to do all of that.
Right.
Is there a way to improve that process of getting the word out to people?
Absolutely. I mean, anymore, everything's gone to technology. I think updating websites and things like that is probably the most effective way to do it. I think, but once you get to the office in the city or the county and you're applying for things, it should be pretty simple. You should be able to meet with one person. They should be able to figure out what you're trying to accomplish. They should be able to give you a roadmap, exactly what you need to do, a checklist. And it should go flawlessly. I've heard too many times, especially from businesses, there's too much confusion, there's too much red tape. Other counties don't do that. So I think we really need to listen to what they're saying and fix it.
Another issue that has come to my attention is the question of whether or not there should be county representation on the plant board.
Mm-hmm. You're going right to it, aren't you? I've been contacted by some people,
mm-hmm.
some business owners, some industry owners that feel that way because they say, we're using a lot of the energy in this town, and they feel like they would like some representation on that board. I'm supportive of that. I think at least one person from industry or county, magistrate or somebody, should have a voice on that board because of that. I've asked the question, and a lot of people say, well, it's not the way it was written. But look how many years ago that was written. And I think times have changed. Our town has changed. Look how big Franklin County is. So I think it's
mm-hmm.
about time we need to revisit and address that.
What are your thoughts on using the Frankfort, Kentucky distilled
mm-hmm.
Branding campaign? Do you think the county should be involved in that? And if so, how would we go about it? How would we use that?
Right. So last year I was actually chair of the Chamber of Commerce. Mm-hmm. So I'm very involved in the distilled marketing brand. Mm-hmm. I think absolutely. It's in our backyard. We have the bourbon here, we have the river here, the Elkhorn Creek. I know in my District 3, it goes through 2/3 of my district alone. So, I think we need to embrace what we have and use it. And I think that brings up a good point. I think there needs to be a common theme for the whole town, and it's not Franklin County or it's not Frankfort, the city. We're Frankfort together. And I think together we need more cheerleaders. We need people that are excited, that are talking to people outside of our town, outside of our state. So I think that's the easiest way to bring it all together is to use a marketing theme like that.
Do you have any plans for actually implementing that, specifics, or is it still in the general concept stage?
Well, I think they've moved past general concept stage, and I know there's a committee working on that as far as how to implement it and things like that. I know they've already started incorporating on some websites and things like that. So that's over my pay grade because wasn't on that actual committee. But I know they're talking to businesses and they're trying to get people to use it. Not just, it's not just a logo. To me, it's a movement. Some people look at it and say the branding initiative was a waste, but I don't think so because it got our town excited. We started moving forward. There's a lot of changes going on right now for the positive. So we just need to keep that ball rolling.
I know you've been involved in a lot of different aspects of our community life and development. Have you been able to focus enough on the county budget to develop a feel for how this pension crisis is going to affect our budget and how we would compensate for that?
That's a huge issue.
It is.
It really is. And the more I get involved and have been involved, it just seems like it keeps growing. Most of our business is on a residential aspect. So most of the people we deal with are on budgets, that are getting retirement from the state and things like that. So I'm very in tune to how it's affecting people's everyday life. No one wants to get a smaller check or be promised something and not get it now. So it is having a big weight on the fiscal court. Not sure how that's going to, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know where the legislators are going to take that. But I do think we need to start looking at bringing more business into town. And some people are afraid of growth. And I think people don't want Frankfort to lose its charm, or Franklin County to lose its charm. But I don't think that's what we're getting at. You know, I mean, we need steady growth. We can't be stagnant. So I think just using what we have right now and making it just better for everyday life and everyday people is a positive thing.
Do you see any particular issues that are facing the 3rd District that you think you want to tackle to create any changes?
I've talked to some of the magistrates right now, and you know, they always say roads are a problem and drainage and things that I deal with every day with my business now, which is interesting. You know, I don't think per se, you know, I know Lakeview Park is in a big transformation. There's some master plans going on that they're going to improve the park and everything, which is great. And I would love to be part of that, you know, because I work hand in hand with a lot of those same people on a daily basis. You know, I think in a nutshell, for the fiscal court, one of my main goals is to establish business plan. You know, for our business, we sit down and we have a 1, 3, 5, 10-year plan. We have a goal where we want to be, where our business wants to be for our employees and their families. And I don't feel like we have that in Franklin County. You know, I feel like every year we just tread water. You know, we try to make the budgets and we try to get by. I want a goal. I want a vision. I want to know where we're going to be in a year, 3, 5, 10. So I think that's not necessarily a issue for District 3, but I think for the county in a whole, and I'd love to implement that.
So you don't have a specific plan for District 3. Do you have a plan for trying to get enough cooperative effort going to get it countywide?
Absolutely. I think that's very feasible. You know, for District 3, if you ask me one thing I'd want to improve on, I think the parks that we have in this town are phenomenal. We have almost 1,000 acres of parks in this town. So per person is unbelievable. So I think improving that is a huge thing. I would love to see more trails, more bike, more walk trails, safer sidewalks, you know, for certain roads. And I know they've tried to address those over the year, and there's a budget issue. But, you know, I know Arnold Ridge area, there's a need for some sidewalks out there. And then, you know, coming through the Forks of Elkhorn, there's a lot of people that walk on the side of the road. It's really dangerous. So, you know, there's some issues like that I would love to see addressed specifically for our district.
And I know that from the outside it's a little difficult to do a detailed analysis of the budget, but do you think that there are funds available in there to accomplish some of these changes, or are we going to have to seriously adapt the budget to be able to go into these new plans?
No, that's a great question, you know, because the fiscal court meetings I've attended for the last couple of years, everybody wants more. You know, the road department needs more trucks, new equipment, sheriff's department, you know, the firefighters. I mean, I understand the need for that. I don't know if we tap into grants and things enough. You know, I know for our business, you know, we're 100% like solar energy. We're off the grid. But a lot of that was accomplished by grants. There's a lot of money out there. It's just looking for the right area. Downtown just last week, they got the Tiger Grant, $8 million reconstruction of 2nd Street. I mean, that's awesome. You know, I give a lot of credit to our city manager for really having the foresight, but she's dealt with a lot of grants over the years. So I think there's money out there. I'm the last person that's going to say raise taxes and let's do this. I don't want to do that. I think we need to look at the whole pot and really figure it out.
There are a couple of things I want to try to fit in before we run out of time. One is, although I had not given any thought to it previously, lately people have been asking me about expanding alcohol sales on Sunday. Have you looked into this issue and have you formed an opinion? And if so, what is that opinion? And why do you feel that way?
It's a great question. Didn't know we were going to go there today.
Yeah.
You know, alcohol sales is an interesting thing. I know Lexington dealt with it years ago. You know, they started in the restaurants on Sundays and then they went to packaged goods. I don't know if I have a stance one way or another. You know, I don't know how much sales. I don't know if I have enough data on that as far as if people actually are driving to surrounding counties on a Sunday to buy it. That's an interesting question, and I'm not sure.
Well, as I said,
I don't drink
took me by
anymore. I was
surprise.
way too good at it, so I had to give it up, if you know what I mean. So I don't think a whole lot about that anymore. I know years ago in Lexington, you know, if you couldn't buy it on Sundays, you just bought it on Saturday, you know. So I'm not sure. That's probably over my head there.
The other thing that I wanted to make sure we covered was the convention center was an integral part of the community for a long time. It isn't there now. What are your thoughts on the balances between trying to get a new convention center, multi-use facility, whatever, as opposed to other types of development in that area? Have you looked into that any?
Absolutely. And I know right now the current magistrate, Don Sturgeon's on that committee, trying to work with the state and the city and the county, trying to redevelop that area. I mean, I think now's one of the most pivotal times in Frankfort and Franklin County as far as the redevelopment of downtown. I do think there's a need for meeting places, because I know, just like our chamber annual meeting, you know, we had a history center, but it really wasn't big enough for the crowd that we have. Kentucky State has some facilities, but they're not the same. I do think we're going to miss out on some big revenue, you know, the basketball games and all those things that were held down there. So I think as part of, you know, I think City Vision right now is working as our consulting firm. There needs to be something. I don't think it needs to be the size of the convention center, because I understand how much money it took in maintenance to run that. But I do think we need something similar to that. And I think if the right people sat down with the state, I think something could be accomplished that everybody would be happy. But I know the state's in the process of, after they build the office building and the parking structure, they're going to give the remaining land over to the city, so then it's taxable. So that's the one thing we've been missing out on, is a lot of our buildings, you know, $750 million in this town is either leased or owned by the state, and we're missing out on a lot, especially education tax there. So I think it's just getting the right people together to do the right thing.
I know that there is a lot of city involvement in any of those dealings, but do you think there should be fiscal court involvement in the development of those?
Absolutely. And I believe right now Don Sturgeon is on that task force, so he's a current county magistrate serving on that task force. So yes, I think there needs to be representation from all over, you know, the town. Let it be industry, business, you know, city, county. I think it needs to be well balanced. It's kind of like when we hire somebody, you know, we're not just hiring them, we're hiring their personality. They're part of the team, they're part of our family. So, you know, I'd rather hire somebody for their personality. I can teach anybody anything. You know, it's just working together, you know, and I think that's what we need to focus on.
Quite often we discover that people have varying feelings about issues. Are there issues that you see that maybe the rest of us don't? Are there issues that you would like to bring to our attention, or do you think that you are uniquely qualified to develop new issues?
I think, you know, if we're just talking District 3 right now, I don't foresee any major issues, you know. Like I said earlier, I think the roads are always an issue, potholes, sidewalks, you know, how the area flows and things like that. I truly feel like, because of my involvement in the community now and in the past, my family, the business, I think I have a good finger on the pulse of where we need to go as a community. And I think because of my business background and what I do every day, you know, I do logistics, you know, I figure how to get things done the most efficient way. That's what I get paid to do. So I think if I could bring that to the fiscal court, it would help. I'm not going to solve the world's problems and sit here and say this, that, or the other. You know, it's broken into 6 districts plus the judge executive. So I think I would be a crucial part to that piece of the pie, let's call it, to make things positive. I think things are going very well now. The current people that are in there are doing a great job, and I don't want to say a negative thing about anybody, because that's just not going to help any matters. but I think it can always be better. And I think that with who I am and my personality and my skill set, I think I'd be a huge asset to the fiscal court.
And if there are any other areas that you want to cover that I've neglected through my own ignorance, please let me know. But otherwise, I would like for you to tell our viewers why you are the best candidate for this position, and why they should go to the polls on May 22nd and cast that vote for you. Why would they want to do that?
Why Michael Mueller?
Exactly.
Why Michael Mueller? I truly feel like my family's invested here, our business is invested here. I just love this town. You know, I love everything about it. I see the potential. I think it's on a pivotal point. You know, we can either move forward or fall backwards. And the consensus right now is Frankfurt's going to say it's not going anywhere, it's not going to grow, it's not going to change. But I think we need to do better. I truly think because of what I could bring to the table from the business aspect of it, I think I'm the best candidate. May 22nd, I ask for everybody's vote. I think it's important, no matter where you stand, to get out and vote. I think I'm amazed how many people don't vote, you know, and that's a huge benefit as an American citizen we have, to be able to vote and voice your opinion. So I'm not a big salesman, things like this. I'm a problem solver. That's what I do. So I ask for everybody's support on May 22nd for District 3, so we can make things better.
And are there ways for people to get in touch with you and let you know what their concerns are and what their wishes might be?
My wife always gives me a hard time. I'm on the phone all the time. My phone number, can I give my phone number? Is that okay? Mm-hmm. It's 502-320-3873. Email, Michael Mueller, district3@gmail.com. I have a website, magistratemueller.com. I'm the easiest person to get in touch with. My wife hates it, but that's what I do. I'm a people person, so I love interacting with people. You know, I hope I have the opportunity to serve on the district court. You know, I'd love to set up like a monthly meeting that I could be somewhere once a month for coffee for anybody that wants to come talk and have any issues or problems. I feel like that's another strong characteristic of mine. Sometimes it's a negative, my wife says, but I love to talk. I love to talk to people, and, you know, I love to solve problems. But I appreciate the opportunity to sit here and Cable 10, the opportunity to sit down and talk.
This has been an opportunity to meet the candidates. Scott Mueller has talked with us a lot about his intents and aspirations on this. So again, I will remind you to stay alert to the candidate forum on April the 26th down at the hotel, and be sure and watch for the live election returns on May 22nd. We hope to bring those to you from the county clerk's office. And please make sure you come back for more Meet the Candidates.